Alright, and we're live, so welcome everybody. Sorry I'm a couple minutes late. But yeah, so today we're going to be adding in enemy death, and if we have time we might even add in player death as well. The player death will be a little bit more complicated to do because we're going to have to respawn the player somewhere. So we're going to have to add in some sort of respawn zone or something like that. So it won't be too complicated, but it will definitely take a lot more time than the enemy death. We also might add in a health bar. We'll probably do that before we try doing the player death. So we'll add in like an official health bar and make the current health bars better. And yeah, that's pretty much all. So I'm just going to tweet it out real quick here. And send it on Discord. So yeah. Hold on, it doesn't seem like YouTube is getting anything. Oh, okay, there you go. Maybe I should go back because I'm trying to do something to, because usually I have the YouTube dashboard open, which is pretty good, but the only thing is that you're kind of forced to watch your live stream. I'll put it at a really low resolution and I'll pause it. Maybe that'll do the trick. Yeah, it looks fine like that, I think. Oh, I actually have to change the title of the live stream. Also, I want to mention we might be trying out doing the live streaming on Twitch soon, and then they'll be exported onto YouTube when the streams are done. So I'm not too sure if we're going to do that, because apparently the YouTube streaming service isn't that good. So that's why we're probably getting some slowdowns like that on the stream. So it might help switching to Twitch. I'll let you guys know though. But if we do that, it'll probably be starting next week. So yeah, let's add this in. So the main thing, we're gonna have to adjust the player health stuff here. Where is it? Alright, so we have heal. So basically this will heal different entities and update their health. So you can also put a negative value and it'll damage them. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's alright, Raging Rabbit. Should still have fun. Alright, welcome to the stream. So yeah, there's this heal thing, but the thing is I don't want to be able to heal entities more than their max health. So let's if health is greater than this dot get max health, health is equal to this dot get max health. Alright, so that should prevent them from having too much health. You should also do that in the create methods here. So here we're just setting it straight up to max health. But here, so we're getting in the health, but it could be that it's more than max health, so we need to make sure. So we'll just do that. If health is greater than this dot get max health, then health is equal to this dot get max health. The main reason why I'm doing this is because you remember when we're adding in the slimes and they had a really big health bar and we're wondering why? Well, it's because I was able to set its health to more than the max health, so it gave it like a really big bar. It was kind of weird. But yeah, it should be okay now. Let's just start by fixing the health bars for entities. Huh. Even at 1440, not even, no, 140p. Okay. Right, so we need to add some sort of thing for different entity types so that not all of them have a health bar showing up on them. So here I'm just going to load up the server and the client. Such a nice day outside. I didn't even get a chance to go out. I'm considering not doing the full 3 hours just so I can have some time outside. Oh, cannot connect the server. Also, in this stream, I might do a to-do list of things that we need to get done before doing the combat devlog. So there's a few things. So see, there's some entities here that we don't want to have the health bar on. So you have the teleporter, also the sign. We don't need a health bar on that. There's doors too that have health bars, the computer. So we're just going to make an option for that. So health bars get added in for certain entities, but not for all. Like see the slimes here. That's one issue too here, see? Well, all the slimes are stacked onto each other now, which is kind of weird. So there's more than one slime there. I'm gonna have to do some adjustments for that. Also, this diagonal movement thing is a bit weird. Yeah, look, you can see new slimes spawn, but they don't move towards you until you move. So there's a couple little things I can fix. But yeah, basically let's just start out by doing this thing here with the health bars so that it doesn't show up on all of them. So public boolean show health bar, and the default value should be false, I guess. Yeah, stop the server. Okay. We only really need to load it up in the client here, so do no. Added boolean show health bar. Public boolean show health bar. Okay, so it's just a getter, and then we're going to use the getter as a condition, and that's going to basically be it. Well, we need to, of course, yeah, there's a couple little things we need to do first. So now, hold on a second. Okay, so we have to set it here. This dot show health bar is equal to data dot show health bar. So that's just getting it from the entities file. And yeah, so we got that. Now we actually need to, well, right now since it's set to false as default, all the entities won't have their health bar showing. So let's just do the condition here. So if type dot where is this getting this type from? This dot get entity type dot show health bar. So we're only going to render the health bar if show health bar is set to true. So right now all of them are set to false, so we have to load up the entity I don't even really have a name for those files, but it's like the entity definitions, that's what I usually call it. So it's in shared entities. Okay, so let's load all of these up. Here, can I do like a mass open? Nice. Hey, there you go. Alright, so the grave, we don't want a health bar. The computer, we don't. The door, no. So we just want it on the player and the slime, actually, so I didn't have to open all these. So player, just put it in here. slime. So now the health bar will show for those two. Actually, I want to make the health bar a little thinner too. It's 2 pixels now. I thought it was 3 and I was going to reduce it to 2. Hold on, I just need to do something real quick here. I'll stay on stream, but alright. I just had to get something else running in the background while I do something. Okay, so it's a little bit thinner now. Also, I want to do it so that the health bars don't show up unless the player is a certain distance from the entities. Oh yes, also I want to remove the health bars if in cinematic mode. So and not Archipelo client dot cinematic mode. So if you're not in cinematic mode, yeah, I don't know about the health bars, if they should just be hidden if the player's not close enough. I guess you can do that. Okay, so we're going to do a separate if in here. We're going to do float delta x is equal to this dot. Yeah, I guess we'll use get foot x minus this dot get world. No. Sorry about that. No. So we're going to get the player's location. So the get world dot get player dot get foot x. Okay, and we're going to do the same for the y. So we're basically just going to do a simple distance check. Let's do a constant here. So we'll do private static final int health bar render distance is equal to, let's do something really small. Let's do like 2 tiles around. So let's say like 32. All right, I think that should be okay like that. So if, so it'll be dx times dx plus dy times dy is greater, no, less than or equal to health bar render distance times itself. So this is a little bit of an optimization, so we have to do square root. If you don't need to use the actual distance for some sort of like calculation, and you're just using it to compare with another distance, then basically you just avoid doing the square root and you just put the compared value to the power of 2. So you multiply it by itself, and then yeah. So if show health bar for entity only render health bar if within render distance. Alright, let's try it out. It should work for sure. It's nice to see things when they're working in the end. Yeah, I just have minor allergies. I used to have them much worse when I was younger, but now it's more like my eyes just get wet and I sneeze every once in a while. What engine am I using? I'm using libgdx. I'm also using a networking library called GDX WebSockets. but I modified it so it can do some, it has some features for SSL. So yeah, it's I like LidGDX, it's pretty good. And the stream seems to be doing fairly well. I mean, not even 1% drop frames. And I think the stream health has been good for the whole time so far. And welcome everybody. Okay, yeah, I ran the server, so should start the client now. I don't know what I was waiting for. Alright, so the player has this giant health bar. So of course we're not going to render the health bar for the player anymore. Okay, so the slimes... Oh, see, the health bar renders once you get close to them. Oh, that's probably a little too close. Let's say we do like 6 tiles worth or something. Let's go into here. We'll do... So tile size, and we'll do times 6, like that. Alright, let's re-render the, restart this now. It's a little weird though, I find that the window shows up like in the bottom like this on small windows. It should be centered, or not exactly, I'm not sure. See, it's centered like that. If my mouse would stop glitching out. Yeah, it's centered like this. Alright, so it's showing up at that distance. Okay, let's try to get away from them a little bit. Alright, I think that's a good distance. Like, when you're around this close to an entity, you're pretty much engaged. You pretty much engaged it, so... Okay, so for the player, let's remove this show health bar thing. It kind of makes sense because we don't really want the other entities, other players knowing the health of those ones. Although we are sending the health to the client, so yeah, there's issues with that. Like, other clients can know the health of others. So like for PvP, we're probably going to remove that. Actually, I'll do that now. Okay, so I'll go into server here like this. All right. Okay, so here we're doing a get full snapshot. But I think in the entity, when we do that, we're sending in the health too, which you don't want. I don't know, this is on the client. Hold on a second. I'm a little lost right now. Get full snapshot. So yeah, we pass in the health there. Let's create another entity attribute called like hide health or something like that. So you know what? We're just going to use show health bar. If show health bar is false, then we're not going to send the health over to the client. We just won't send it at all because they don't have a health bar, so why should they see it? So yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so let's add that in. Entity type. So we need to add it onto the server now. So private boolean show health bar. This dot show health bar is equal to data dot show health bar. All right, and we're gonna have to create a getter for that once again. Okay, that's the client. Right in here. Okay, so here basically we just need to do if type dot. Why does it keep doing that for type? This dot. I think it's because I called it entity type. It was dot get entity type dot show health bar. So we'll only send the health data if show health bar is true. This is for the save snapshot, so we want to send the health to the save so that it gets saved. Okay, we're also gonna have to put in the heal method. Oops, like that, and that should be good. So now the clients shouldn't be getting any health bar information, which is grid. Hold on, I gotta take care of this task there that I was doing. In case if any of you were wondering, I'm just in the process of modding my 3DS. There's some waiting stuff, so I just want to test if it works real quick. I'm putting a few of my games on the SD card so it's faster to load. And they're all there too, so. I don't even really play 3DS anymore. I just kind of felt like modding it. Same with my Wii. I also modded it recently. I just kind of wanted to do it just because. So yeah, it was kind of fun to do. Also modded my original Xbox. I'm kind of considering doing my GameCube as well, although I think that's probably much harder. Well, I'm still going to keep the games that I have. Oh no. Yeah, I meant to go to the main menu. Alright, I'm just going to leave it for a second again. Okay, so that's all good. So now I'm just going to do a packet test. So basically I'm going to read out all the packets that are sent to the client, and I want to see. Yeah, I mean, it should work. Yeah, it should be fine, I think. Okay. Because yeah, I don't think I can think of anywhere else where I'd be sending the health. It's definitely not in the interp snapshots. Yeah, the only place I would be sending it would be in the changes and the full snapshot, which is obviously not what's happening. Okay. So let's add in the death. So for the other entities, it'll actually be pretty simple. Of course, you have to add in damaging too, which will take a little bit more time. Okay, my 3DS is done. I get this bug where it always tells me that I have new apps to open, and all my apps end up showing up that way. I'm talking on my 3DS, if anyone is wondering. Like, it's telling me I have to open up Swap Note for the first time, but I've obviously used that. Oh, looks like my game didn't install properly. Yep. Alright, looks like it didn't work. What is this? Health equals math.max. Oh yeah. Yeah, that would be nice instead of using the if statements. I mean, I already wrote it, so I'll just leave it that way, but yeah. Makes sense. Here, I should comment it actually. Clamp health to min and max. Yeah, I'm doing alright. A little tired today, but... And thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty happy. The past few days I'm getting some really nice comments. People seem to really like the tutorials videos. They're getting a lot of views now too, like the first series. So it's yeah, it's a lot of fun. No, don't worry about it. I mean, yeah, it does make sense instead of doing all these conditions and stuff, but I'm pretty sure those math methods do the same. It's just faster to write it that way, I guess. So I guess we should add in the health bar for the player. So I'm not too sure exactly what we're going to do. Here, I'm going to look real quick in our Discord chat because we had some better health bars. Also, the pixel artist for the team says it's alright if I use the slime art that he's made. He said he's probably going to change it since it's more like just a test. But it'll probably look better than the one we have now, so we can always do that too. So I'm just going to look for the health bar here. Shouldn't be too far up in one of our conversations here. I don't remember where they put the health bar pictures. It could end up being really far up, actually. I'm just gonna draw like a crappy health bar for now, just so we can get it in. It's not very hard to really add it in the future anyways, but just so it's there. Alright, so let's do that. I might as well just close all this. I don't need that anymore. Okay, so create a new class for the health bar. So we could probably just put the health bar in the game screen itself, but I think it'd be nicer if we just create a class for it. And that'll handle everything for us. So we need a few constants. So public static final int health bar x, and we'll just put it like at the we'll put it like at the top left or something like that. Actually, where should we put it? Hold on a second. I just want to see where we even have space. Oh right, no, I want to add in the entities we're moving first. Well anyways, we're starting to add the health bar, so we'll just finish that. Yeah. So I guess we can put the health bar like here. So we won't make anything too big. But yeah, I think it would be a good spot up there, or maybe even in the middle between the touch controls here. Oh man, this mouse is really getting annoying. Maybe here. I think maybe I'll do it here. I'll have it centered in the middle of the screen. So I'll change this to health bar Y, because it'll be centered anyway. So let's say we do it 200 pixels from the bottom, or maybe a little less, maybe like 100. Yeah, I think that's the only constant we're actually going to need anymore now since we're centering it. So let's do public health bar. Let's pass in the player. Oh, the player gets changed, so we should probably just pass in the game world, so we can get the player from the game world. It's basically whenever the player goes from one map into another, the player counts as an entity, so it gets completely removed from memory, and then all the new entities are loaded in, including the player itself. So it's not, the data is not saved, because just in case things change when the player changes map. So yeah, it just loads it from scratch. So let's and we'll just have a simple render method here. I'm sorry if there's a bit of noise from outside. I can always close my window or whatever. Just let me know if it's a bit annoying. Okay, so let's do the math for calculating the health bar. So let's first start by creating the constants. Health bar width. So this won't be the actual width of the entire image, but it's going to be the width of the health bar part of it. I think 200 might be a good value for that. Maybe we can always adjust it later on once we do the actual art itself. So basically we need to get a fraction from 0 to 1 of the health compared to the max health. So I've created like some helper math methods in the static tools. So I'll just call this variable fraction. And it's here, single dimension lerp fraction. So I use this for the linear interpolation. So value before, so this is like the min and max values, and then the intermediate values, the value in between, which would be the current health. So then this would be world.get player.get max health, and then this would be world.get player.get health. Whoops. Now the main issue I'm seeing actually now, because we made it so that entities don't get health for like you know, they don't get updated on the health of other players or entities that don't have a health bar. But the main issue with that is that we're also making it so that you can't see your own health. So we're going to have to make some sort of thing in the player that makes it so that the player can see their own health. So their health data will get sent to them, but their health data won't get sent to other players, so other players won't know what their health is. Okay, the noise isn't too bad. Alright. Yeah, I'm having a hard time hearing myself, so I'm not too sure what you guys hear. Okay, so we need to still send the health over of the players to themselves, but not to the other players. Now this can actually be pretty difficult because I've never actually done properties that can be sent to specific entities like that. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to have to create a new packet type for that kind of thing. So yeah, I can easily do that. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's go into the networking here. So I guess this will be a little nice way so I can show you guys how we add in packets. Call it a player stat packet because we could always end up sending other things as well too. And this will extend packet. Alright, we need this constructor here. Okay, so for now the only value that we're going to have in here will be a integer value for health. And we should give them default values too so it doesn't send data over that's not necessary. And the type here, I need to make it a constant, so in the packet types here I need to add it in. So public static final int player stats equal to 21. Hey, welcome Vivrock, how's it going? We should rename this to player stats. Rename compilation unit. Okay. Player stats packet, and we have to give it this. So basically this is just registering the different class reflections into a hash map. So the packets, when they get sent over with these values here, which are the IDs for the packet type. And then when they're received on the other end, the IDs are taken, and then we check in this hash map, and then we get the class, and then that way we can know what class we need to use when we deserialize the packet. So what was it? Those player stats. And that's pretty much all. That we of course have to add it to the client as well. So in here now we can do packet type dot player stats. I'm not going to do anything else for the constructor. We'll just make it so that you set each value individually. So that way it'll save some space, because the way that the serializer works is if the value of this object is equal to the default value of the class for that field, it won't serialize it. It'll just because it uses JSON, so it doesn't need to serialize everything. Okay, so let's add the packet over onto the client. What's this? Oh yeah. Not a package, class. Okay, and same here, we have to do the constructor, and we'll do the public int health is equal to 0. So you need to go create the type. I'm just checking in here because I have a feeling I did some sort of player stats thing, but it doesn't look like it. Stats packet. Yeah, just need to make sure I spell all this correctly because it's pretty important. And then in here I can do packet type dot player stats. All right, looks good. So on the client now, I just need to add in a handler for when these packets are received from the server, and also on the server I need to send out these packets too. So let's do it in the current player class. So on the client, there's two types of player entities. There's the regular one and there's the current player. So the current player, of course, handles like controls and stuff, and the other one just barely does anything. You know, it handles in like the equipment, but it's mostly just static methods. Like we have a static method to draw a player with certain equipment on, and stuff for display inventory, so like displaying the player with their clothes and stuff. But the one we need is the current player. I'm pretty sure it already uses a a packet handle method. Actually, while I'm here, I'm just going to I'll put a to-do here just so I don't lose my spot, but I want to make sure that the this is actually removed from the packet handler once it gets disposed. So there should be some sort of dispose method in here. Unload. Yeah, okay, so it gets removed from the packet handler. All right, perfect. All right, so else if packet type is equal to player stats. Alright, so that's like just basically checking if the packet is a player stats one. We're going to return true to say that we handled the packet, because if we received a player stats packet, then we know we've handled it. So player stats packet, I'll call it stats packet, is equal to, and then we have to typecast it, so player stats packet like that. We're gonna have to import this. Alright, and then basically we can just do this dot health is equal to stats dot stats packet dot health, like that. And then there you go. So if there we go. So now if we have other stats that we need to add, we can always just add them into the stats packet here. And then we can load them in this way, and there you go. So now we have stats specific to that player, and other players won't be able to see them, which is the important part. So now for the entities, we should have some sort of get health method here. Alright, so return health. That's simple enough. We might need to do some adjustments eventually for get max health, because players can actually get buffs to make their max health bigger. So we're going to have to add that in eventually. Won't do that now though. Someone's asking me specs of laptop. I'm not actually using a laptop right now, I'm using a desktop. Yeah, I can give you the specs of that though if you're interested. I pretty much know part by part since I built it. So okay, so we got the fraction here. So this is a number from 0 to 1, so we're going to be using this fraction to calculate the width of the health bar. So let's actually just draw the health bar real quick now. Yeah, here the specs are for my graphics card. I have an RX 480. It's a reference edition. It's from XFX. I got it like pretty much when it came out. It's the 8GB model. CPU, I have an i3 6100. My cooler is a Deepcool Gamax 400. It's not super amazing, but it's pretty good. The RAM, I don't remember the exact model number. It's G-Skill Ripjaws 4 series. It's a 16 gig DDR4 kit. Goes up to 3000 megahertz. What else? My case is a Corsair Spec 01. It's a pretty cheap case, but it's alright. And I have a Samsung 850 EVO SSD, 250 gigs. And my power supply is a CX500M by Corsair. And also my motherboard is a Z170 motherboard. It's the Gigabyte GA Z170 HD3P. I think that's it, right? I have some extra case fans and stuff like that. I got like extra LED lights. It's pretty cool. I can always show you guys a picture, but on my private channel I have it. Can it run Crysis 3? I don't know, I never tried. But yeah, I get your joke. I mean, it probably should be able to. The graphics card's good. I'd say maybe the only weak link is the processor, since it's just an i3. But it's still not too bad. It's 2 cores hyper-threaded, which is really 4 cores, but just only 2 registries. So how big should we make this image? Let's do like 200 by 100. Sure, that's fine. Well, it's actually really big, now that I think of it. Maybe I shouldn't have used Pixel Edit for it, but that's alright. Alright, so basically I'm just going to duplicate that over like that. Wasn't a very good duplicate, but... Is there a flipping tool in here, actually? Because that would have been good, because you can flip, but you don't know how wide it was. Whoops. See, that's my mouse glitching up again. That looks good enough, I think. Just gonna do something really basic here. Like the slimes, there's no point in wasting too much time doing placeholder art. You might as well just do something that works and then adjust it afterwards. Here, I'll just do like a square. Something like this. All right. Like a lighter beige or something, I don't know. I'm probably already wasting too much time on this. Let's just do like that. Okay, we'll cut something out like that. Okay, there you go. That's fine for now, whatever. Just export it. Put in the assets, UI. Alright, so it should be in here now. Yep. Okay, so let's load it up. So I have to get used to that hierarchical view a little bit. So asset manager dot put texture. So just loading up the texture, call it health dash bar. And it's in UI health bar. Why did I write file bar? I don't know where that came from. .png. UI, yeah, it's right there. Okay, so now we got the health bar in, so we can actually render it now. So we'll do batch dot draw Archipelo client. So we're gonna go get the asset manager. So get game dot get asset manager dot get texture. We called it health dash bar. Okay, so we're going to center it on the screen. So we're going to do gdx.graphics.get width divided by 2 minus, oh yes, we need the health bar width and height. Here, I'll just open that up. Nope. Assets, UI, health bar. Oh yeah, 200 by 100. I don't need the height, so it's already 200 there. So we'll just do health bar width divided by 2. And the Y will do health bar Y. And we don't need the width and the height right there. Okay, so now we need to draw an overlay. I still have the image here, right? We need to draw the overlay here for the actual health bar, the thing that goes up and down. So the way I do that is I draw a blank. I did in the entities here. You set color and then you draw a blank texture and you just stretch the texture. So the blank texture is just a 1 by 1 pixel white image that we can colorize. So this is the RGB. So we're colorizing it here with 1, and then we're drawing it with the width and the height. So yeah, that's basically what we're going to do. So batch dot. Now we should set the color first. So we'll do the same that we did in the other one. We'll do it red, and batch dot. Okay, so now we actually draw it. So Archipelo client.getGame.get asset manager.get texture, and it was called blank. Okay, and we have an X and Y now. So let's create constants for that. So public static final int bar overlay. I'll just call it overlay so we don't have these super long variable names. Overlay X no, we don't need the overlay X, we just need the overlay Y. It's going to be centered, so okay, we have the image open here. Should probably open it back up in Pixeled so we can calculate the distance. Import. All right. Alright, so the height is 35. So we're going to do 135 here, because it's 100 for the main thing, plus 35 for the extra height. Then public static final int overlay height is equal to, so what's the height of this? 38. And we're also going to have a width. $161. It's going to be a little weird, the calculations with 161, but it's okay. And it's such a high resolution, you don't really notice anyway. So, and we're going to change it to better art soon too. So, okay, so the X. Let's copy this, because we're going to be centering it, so we get the screen width divided by 2 minus the width of the overlay, also divided by 2. So that'll center it on the screen. And we enter it overlay Y. And the width will be fraction times overlay width. And the height will be overlay height. Like that. And we also need to set the batch color back. Otherwise everything else is going to be tinted. So it should be 1111 for white. And I think that's all. So we need to add it into the game screen now. Also I want to add in a condition here to make sure that the player is actually available before rendering. Because the player gets, like I said before, the player gets unloaded from the game world. So when we're transitioning from different maps, it can cause some issues there. So world get player is not equal to null. Either way, we don't want the health bar to render if there's no player visible on the screen. So yeah, that's all I think for the health bar. So let's add it into the game. We'll also get to test out if our player stats packet worked properly that way too. So game screen. Where am I initializing the worlds here? Okay, so I'll add it in here. We'll do health bar is equal to new health bar. We should put it in here. Like this, and then we have to call the render method whenever we render. Yeah, it's render UI because we want to render it in the UI. World.render UI, so we'll do it health bar dot render like that. Yeah, we should do it here. So the stage will get rendered, which is the like windows and the other UI elements. This is the chat. These are the pop-up messages. So yeah, the health bar should render over those things, I think. We might actually have to make the pop-up messages spawn a little bit higher so they don't interfere. And I think actually the server might be an old version, so let's restart that. Alright, there's the health bar. So it's rendering the player's full health. We can make the player's health go down if we go to the grave. See, it's kind of weird when it gets scaled like this at a weird resolution. Actually, I don't know why it's getting scaled at all. Okay, let's teleport to the other map. Whoops. Okay, something crashed. Nope. Cannot serialize packet of type 3. Oh, that's a world snapshot. Alright, so the game had issues. Yeah, see, the server's completely stopped now. There's a couple little bugs I'm going to have to work out eventually. Mainly with the serialization of packets, it seems like it doesn't always serialize properly and it just causes crashes. Okay. So if it worked, we should see the health going down of the player. No. Doesn't seem like it's getting updated. Oh right, we forgot to... Oh, of course it's not getting updated. We didn't actually send it in from the server. Okay, so let's close everything here. Forgot that one little thing that makes everything work. But the health bar seems to be working at least. Okay, so in the player here, we basically need to override the heal method. So heal. So we perform the super.heal, and then we need to create a player stats packet. Packet is equal to new player stats packet. Packet.health is equal to this.health. And then we can just do packet.send. We can do this.send, I believe, on players. Yeah, send packet. Send the packet to that player. Alright, let's restart the server now. Okay, there you go. You can see the health going down. Now, of course, when it goes in the negative, it's going to start... Oh yeah, right. It can't go in the negatives. That's good. Seems to be some scaling issues or something. The player's kind of vibrating. Just at some parts, though. Alright. So the health bar works. Now we need to... Okay, so we're finally going to do what we said we were going to do before. We're going to add in the removing of entities that die. And also we're going to make the actual sword do some damage. So we can actually kill those entities. Which just makes sense. So we can actually test it out too. Okay. So it's an entity here. Now it's fairly simple, I think, to do. Basically, if the health is less than 0, basically you just need to call this.remove. But it's a little bit more complicated once we're the player, because we can't just remove the player. We're gonna have to respawn him back, so we'll handle that case another well, maybe like not another time, maybe in a couple minutes. So that's it. If the health is less than 0, we remove this entity, That's it, that's all. Yeah, that should work. So let's just add in the damaging for the sword. So we got the use type here. Alright, so here we are calculating hitting. The main issue with this though is this is just for like when we're trying to hit you know, entities that are interactable, so you know, like the signs, so you can talk to a sign or like some NPC or something like that. But we need to actually do the hitting for other things as well. But we're already checking if there's a collision with the hit. So we should change this a little bit here. So we have this hit range variable here, which is set to 8. So 8 pixels for the hit range. But I don't think we should be using a constant anymore. I think we should use the hit range of the item that we're using. Oh yes, I also want, okay, I'm just going to do a quick post-it note here. So there's a lot of things to think about at one shot. Entity death event. So I want to create an event for when entities die, so yeah, there's that. So hit range. This will be set to item dot okay, maybe I shouldn't have been so quick to delete that value. We'll change this to default hit range. Okay, and we'll do this here. We'll do int hit range is equal to default hit range. Is that a float? Oh, it's a float. Okay, and we'll do item is equal to inventory dot get weapon inventory dot get raw storage. So we're going to get the first item in the inventory if, so we don't need this anymore. I'm not too sure if I want to do it this way. It's more efficient, so I think we should just stick with that. So if item, because what we could do is we could just use the default hit range for interactions with regular entities, which would make sense. Yeah, no, we should just recalculate it. It'll be a better user experience. So it's going to use a default hit range to check for interactions with signs and stuff like that. So when you're interacting with a sign, it's always going to be it's always going to use a default hit range, which is like 8 pixels, which is good. But if we're using a sword or some weapon, it should have a custom hit range. But we're going to have to recalculate it, but I think it's not too bad to do. Okay, so let's and how did I calculate entities on map? Guess we're gonna have to change these things up a little bit here. So this would be user.getMap like that. It's not equal to, if it's user, then you skip over it. So if the entity is hittable, then we can do some damage to it. Okay, so we should add in some sort of time value. So long time. Because basically we need to know at what point in time did the entity use the item exactly, so that we can know what point in time we need to go back and check other entities' positions, because they could have moved in the amount of time that the player hit. So yeah, that's good. I didn't think of that for a second, but I already had that implemented for some other things. Here, just add in these param definitions. Okay, and we won't check for hits if the entity isn't hittable. So hittable is just basically like a setting I have for some entities, so that we don't run the hit animation if we hit them, and also they don't get damaged. So that's useful. And we can change this to user. Fix that bug. And we change this to time. Default hit range, we're not going to use that. We're going to use item.getType.get hit range. Now, of course, it's not set yet, but we'll do that. Oh, and we also need to pass in the direction of the player, so we're going to do user.getDirection. Like that. Okay, now there's probably some bugs in the item class, because we're not accepting in a time variable. So let's do that quick. Okay, and let's set the time up here. Whoops, and put time like that. Okay, there you go. So this calculates the time that the player used their sword on their screen, so then we can go back in the past, like I said before. Okay, so let's add in the, oh, I have to update these two. It's just a simple copy paste here. Okay, so for the item types, let's add in the new attribute for the hit range. Let's put that here. So public int is equal to, let's just do 8 as the default. And we have to load it up in the item type here. Public int hit range. There. All right, so this actually returns all the rectangles that were hit by this weapon. So not just every entity, but every rectangle of every entity. So it's probably a bit more than we need. So basically we're just going to break no matter what. So we're going to damage the entity. So we'll do entity dot heal, but of course we're going to heal of a negative amount. And then we do, hold on, user dot get stats manager dot get player stats manager. Right, it was hit. So we're going to change hit a little bit here so that it uses an item to calculate the hit damage. So I'm going to remove this min damage, this max damage thing here. And we're just going to get it on the fly here from the item. So item.get type dot, what was it, max damage, I believe? Yeah, max damage. So item.get type dot max damage. And same deal here for the other one, the other two. Min damage. That's a critical chance multiplier. So that's a crit multiplier. I'm just commenting these things out because I might end up using them later on. Okay, so Did I just delete the other ones? Yeah, I might as well just delete this. Okay, there you go. So we're gonna have to change the event, the player stats change event there, so it doesn't accept all these variables. So where is that? It's in the events somewhere. It's being tools. Yeah, event, player stats change event. Sorry about that. Guess you don't need these critical hit things here. Now basically the reason why I'm doing this is it's so that just say the player uses any item. Oh sorry, my mic was down. Just say the player, it was up, sorry. Just say the player uses any item, not just the one that they're holding in their hand. We need to apply the effects of it. So if we just use those other values, it's only going to use the values of the item in their hand, which isn't super good practice. So it's just better to do it this way. We just pass in the item, and yeah. So then we do dot hit. Oops. So do the players. Stop it. It's annoying. Player stats manager dot hit, and then we pass in the item. And this is expecting an integer. So we can always typecast this. Whoops. There you go. I'm just going to change it to an if statement like that. So if at least one collision reactor is hit, then we'll damage that entity. Alright, that looks pretty good, I think. So yeah, damage should be in the game now. Player stats manager. Where's this? Player stats form. Alright. I have to remove these all from the forms. Game screen, player stats form. Okay, so remove these here like that. This. Okay, that should be all good now. So let's make sure the server is closed. We'll reboot it. It's really windy outside right now. Hey, well, welcome. Yeah, I'm making quite a bit of good work now. Doing these live streams helps a lot, actually. It keeps me focused, so I'm happy to do them. This gives you guys some extra content to watch until the next devlog, so that's cool too. Okay, so let's teleport to the other map and see if we can damage any slimes. Okay, so you can see that one's getting damage up there. So the collision boxes seem a little bit off. I think it's my collision detection for some things. They're not perfect, but you saw the entity got removed, so we know it works. We're also going to have to prevent the player from trying to use their item too quick. Yeah, I'll have to work on those collisions. Maybe I should increase the range of it. Let me try something. Actually, hold on a sec. I want to see the hit calculator. Maybe I can do this real quick. It's on the server. It's probably in the tools somewhere. Here, I can just access it from the item here. Hit calculator, just do open declaration. Oh, we actually have another one here. Oh, good, but this is for each individual collision rect. Okay. Yeah, let's do another optimization here. So public static boolean did entity hit entity. Basically going to be the same as this. What is hitted? Oh yes, we need these values here. So instead of keeping track of an array list of the different recs that were hit, as soon as one gets hit, we're just going to return true. And if it goes through all the collision recs without hitting, then it's just, we're going to return false. So that'll be like a bit of an optimization. So hit calculator dot did entity hit entity recs. We can just get rid of all the properties because we already have it in here. Alright, and we're comparing it. We don't need that anymore. Okay, so that's optimized a bit. Okay, so it uses the center position and it tries to hit the entity in the different recs. Yeah, I guess that's kind of the way to do it. Hit. Okay, so let's just give the sword a bit of a bigger range. see what that does. It should help for sure. But I'm definitely gonna have to go through this this algorithm again. I'm probably gonna rewrite it for the hitting. It doesn't seem super good, although it works kind of well with the signs and stuff, but not that much. Okay. So the hit range, we'll set it to 16 just to try that out. Whoops, we have to restart the server too. Stop that, stop that. Yeah, wind gust. Yeah, there's like a lot of wind around here. Yeah, there's a health bar on top of the slimes. I changed it so that the health bar kind of disappears when the entity is a certain distance away. What if I go over here? Maybe it's just the logs aren't any good. That could be too. Okay, let's go into the sword. Let's just do a system.out here. Maybe it's something with the health. Might as well open up the server in debug mode. Yeah, it's like the collision with the sword and the monsters. I think I might make it more optimized because right now it's actually using like a semicircle. So you have the player and they use their sword. It's actually checking, like, just say they're looking upright, it's actually checking a region upright like this if there's a hit. So if there's a slime box here like that, it's gonna hit it. So there's that kind of deal. But I'm considering maybe just doing like some sort of rectangle like that. Although probably won't look as nice. It's definitely more optimized. And yeah, I think it'll be okay like that. And I don't think most people will even notice it either. Let's open up the server here. Okay, so it's not hitting them. So we know that it's not something, well, there could still be something wrong with the health thing, but I doubt that. So it's more likely something to do with, oh, I should actually sys out. I should actually display the hit range just in case. So let's do test sword use type Java and then plus item dot get type dot hit range. Can always be something like that. Ah, there you go. It says the hit range is 0 for some reason. Oh, I think I know why. We have the hit range, but we're never actually defining it in here. There you go. So data dot hit range. We're gonna have to actually restart everything to do that because that's to reload those things. The stream's not been too bad. It's just 3.2% drop frames, which isn't too bad. Normally it's much more than that. How does it look on your guys' end? Is it okay? Whoops. Alright, now the server's saying it's 16, but it's still not damaging them. Let me check the collision rep for the slime here. Oh, I might have found the health bar. Oh wait, I found the slime. Found the slime images in our Discord chat. Let me see if I can find the health bar. Alright, I think I've almost got it. Bear with me for a second. Okay, no, I don't think I had it. Alright, well here are the slime images. So we'll switch to that in a couple minutes. Although there's no animation for it yet. But it's fine, we tested the animation, we know that works. Okay, so let's go back to what we're doing here. So for the slime, yeah, there's the X and Y offset like that. So that should be okay, I think. Whoa, look at all these slimes that spawn. That's nuts. Well, at least you have a good idea how well the server can run with these things. I wonder how many there actually are right now. I can probably calculate it. Here, let me check the CPU usage of the server. It's pretty high. This is probably the client, that's probably the server. Oh, concurrent modification error. Living entity. Right, so this should probably be duplicate. Is this on the client? No, it's on the server. Alright, so that should solve that bug. Oops. Alright, I'm just curious. I want to see how many entities are actually there. So let's do plus. Oh, oops, I should probably start at the server first. Oh no, I actually started two servers. I thought I started a client first. The thing I don't get is how we're able to damage that other one before we can't damage them now. Alright, well, obviously it's something wrong with the collision detection. Alright, so let's try something here. Let's make the slime's health go down slowly. No, that's on the client. So I'm starting to think that maybe the health shouldn't be an integer, maybe a float. Oh yeah, we have to... Oh, okay, because we didn't start the client in the server in debug mode. Oh man. Alright, I'm thinking of ending the live stream in maybe 10 minutes. I'm gonna go enjoy the weather while it's there. I'll switch the slime images first though. I think I can easily do that quickly. Still pretty much 2 hours live stream today, so that's good. Okay, so you can see the slimes there, their health goes down and then they just disappear. So we can of course run some sort of animation when they die. Because right now just disappearing like that's a little weird. That's alright. Also with the combat, it seems like we can just attack infinitely. So we're gonna have to add some sort of thing against that. Actually, a change of plans. Instead of doing adding in this slime, well, I'm just gonna get rid of this test output. I'm gonna create a quick to-do list. So I'm gonna commit the stuff that we have now. And then I'll create a quick to-do list on GitHub. So you guys can keep track with it as well too. So it's just the to-do list for things you need to get done before the combat devlog. All right. What were they called again? Those .md. It's like those GitHub style sheets. So you can actually do some sort of to-do list thing. So if you do like a thing like that, and then you do some sort of thing you need to do, so add entity death event. We go and preview here. Maybe I need one of these before. How did I do it on the other ones? I think I had a to-do list already now. Well, that's the README, that's a little different. Okay, well I use HTML tags for that, that's different. So we'll just do it like that. So what have we done already? We did item use animations. We did item use sounds. We added in the sword sound effect, so that's good. We put X in there like that. What else? Added in an enemy. Added an entity spawner. That was pretty cool. Added health bar. I shouldn't do the past tense like that. Okay, and what do we have left to do? So we have the entity death event, like I said. Player game over screen. Player respawn location. Player health saves in database. Because right now the player health doesn't save in the database. Whenever they rejoin, their health goes back to normal, like to full health. So we don't want that. Otherwise people would just relog to get full health. I don't know, what else could we add? Oh yeah, we have to fix the hit boxes. We're using items. Oh yes, and we also, I want to add in entities flash when damaged. So when entities get damaged, you know in some games they do like a flash. It can be either like red or they go transparent. And I think that's pretty much all. So there's a couple other little things I want to do for the combat eventually, but for the update, all I want to do is that for now. And I think that's pretty good. Made a to-do list for combat update. I'm just going to check real quick here. GitHub, how to make to-do list. Okay, here I gotta edit a little bit. Right, so you put hashes to make a... That's the better way. And also it seems like it's like this. Do preview. Yeah, there you go. Alright, there you go. So cool. We have like a checklist now. It looks nice. Whoops. That's a little weird. Maybe I need spacing for that. I'm surprised I didn't see that in the preview. Yeah, there you go. You need a space. Alright, pretty cool. So before I forget, I'm just going to pull that in. Alright, and that's it for the stream. Thank you guys so much for joining. And if you're new, please subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next stream. I should be doing another one tomorrow. And I'm going to go enjoy the nice weather. So, yeah, see you guys around.